Environmental, social and governance is becoming increasingly important and absolutely fundamental to what we do, particularly from 2019 onwards actually, when we set out our 5-year sustainability plan in line with a number of the UN Sustainable Development Goals. It's really starting to become a core part of our decision making. Whether it's from a person buying a home for the first time, or whether it's a local authority who's making the decision about a planning consent, whether it's a bank providing you the finance to try and help you to develop the scheme, sustainability is becoming ultimately the first question, not the last. We've made fantastic strides, we've got a long way to go, as has everybody, but I'd like to think that we can continue to take the lead.
Climate change is so in people's minds now, it's becoming so real. I think this is a really good time for us to introduce to our Sustainable Development Goals, SDG 13, which is all about climate action.
We've got some really exciting schemes coming forward, which are really inspirational, but also we've got a mindset that says, how can we make a difference? How can we add more back to the communities? How can we add more back to the natural environment? Now is really the time to fully integrate that into what we do as a business.
Yeah, and it feels like we can't take enough action soon enough, really. Now's the time to be taking the action. There's a place for pledges, but it's really about, we're a company right on the delivery end. We can really make a difference for people in the environment, and it's a really good time to be able to do that and show people that it's not a hollow promise. This is the future, and we want to make communities fit for the future.
We were the first UK company to verify any of our assets as net zero carbon, as well as Media City having the highest cluster of net zero carbon buildings in the UK. We have our energy management system, which is compliant with ISO 50001. We've operated that system since 2015. That system enables us to monitor our energy and carbon performance over the years, and then that has helped us to improve the energy efficiency of our buildings. We have recently decided to create a 10-year biodiversity action plan for Media City for the benefit of the wildlife as well as the people that visit there.
Sustainability is embedded in pretty much everything that we do. We want to save energy, we want to use less natural resources. We were able to look at energy use, so thermal efficiency of houses. How could you make them use less energy? Because if you can make them use less energy, then the resident is going to have a more affordable energy bill at the end of the year. Right now, the whole Northstone range is somewhere between 16 and 18% ahead of the current building regs. We want to create developments where communities can thrive. We were interested in how can you connect the people that then live in those homes to well-being, to health and into nature that surrounds the sites. We have gone beyond statute. So at the minute, Biodiversity Net Gain is getting a lot of press, and that's a commitment we're making now on all of our sites to have a meaningful biodiversity net gain provided as part of the development. Let's do it the right way, don't do it the way everyone else does it.
Here we are on the banks of the East Float dock system in Birkenhead. This is the focus for the Wirral Waters Regeneration Project. What we're looking to do is to create homes for everybody. You've got the big skies, you've got the coastline and the countryside, and we want to try and bring some of that into what is quite a harsh, derelict dockland. Green infrastructure is vitally important to create a new desirable and resilient place. That infrastructure is starting to be used now, and you'll see a lot more sort of cyclists and a lot more pedestrians using the street infrastructure that we put in. We planted 1,500 trees, so that's a commitment into investment in green infrastructure, just to change how the place felt. And this could become a sort of an exemplar in terms of regeneration in the UK.
Working with Peel, we're going to be producing a new pilot scheme. The output will be a new tool that we'll be able to introduce into the marketplace, which will help people improve their processes to reduce the plastic that they use. Plastic is ubiquitous in our lives, and it's only recently, over the last 20-30 years, that it's become apparent how damaging it is. When you think about plastic production due to triple by 2050, we've got a problem. We've got to slow that down. This is just a starting point, and Peel have been brave enough to take that first step. It's working with Peel on a live site that can show and demonstrate how we can change and what can be done.
Protos is a strategic cluster of developments which focus on energy generation and resource management to support clean growth. As a development as a whole, by 2050, we'll have reduced emissions by 8.6 million tonnes of CO2. What we're looking at Protos is again a UK first, a plastics recycling park which can take around 400,000 tonnes of waste plastics in, and it will take anything, so it can be a one-stop shop. The other key project that we've got in the Northwest is HyNet, which is looking at infrastructure to connect all of those assets for a hydrogen and CO2 pipeline so that we can provide hydrogen gas to industry as a lower carbon alternative, and we can capture the CO2. What we're really keen to do is prove the concept at Protos and then look at that as a blueprint for how we and others could do that across any other site in the UK.
We undertook our health and wellbeing survey in December 2020, and the results of that were clear. The Bridgewater Canal had improved people's mental and physical health and wellbeing. The canal is wonderful. Within a built-up Manchester, you've got this oasis of canal, and during periods of lockdown, we saw the use of it increase. We're in a constant mission to improve the canal and to protect it. To maintain the canal, we need to cut grass, we need to cut trees, we need to cut vegetation. However, we're making sure now that whatever we cut, we always put more back. So we have volunteers and we have groups now that are planting wildflower seeds, wildflowers and bulbs.
Peel have been incredibly supportive on all the work we do with young people, very motivated towards developing and getting the community engaged with their environment, specifically around the water and developing things like stand-up paddleboarding, canoeing and kayaking. It's a lifeline to some families. The opportunity over the pandemic, for example, to give them the opportunity to spend time as a family in a social distance way was phenomenal. In terms of mental welfare and physical changes in people, it's been a huge impact. People themselves always advocate and return and come to the waterways and say that this is my place, this is my happy place.